Welcome. In this offering, we're going to take you down a dark path to selected parts of the U.S. as we talk about some popular ghosts, legends, and creatures from these regions. Let's step inside now as we open the door to the candlelit room and examine ghosts, legends, and creatures. In this offering, I'll be teaming up with voices of Michael Gray and Donnie Dubose. And music has been provided by Rocky Gray, and I've provided artistic visuals from my outfit, Dim Fusions. Let's begin. Mary Jane of Loon Lake Cemetery. Mary Jane Terwilliger was only 17 years old when she was killed. As the legend holds, she was believed to be a witch and was beheaded in March of 1880 by the citizens of nearby Petersburg, Minnesota. While the legendary execution is consistent with Mary Jane's official date of death, the accounts do not specify where the alleged execution took place, although many versions claim that she is buried with the axe that severed her head. Some accounts claim that Mary Jane was not alone in her dealings with the occult, that, in fact, she was part of a coven of witches whom the locals warily tolerated until their witchery started causing trouble and quote-unquote terrorizing the non-witch townsfolk. Hence, in this version, 2 other witches were also hunted down and similarly executed. The witches were buried out in Loon Lake because it was desolate and used mainly to bury orphans. In other words, these witches would be out in the middle of nowhere, not buried with the God-fearing Christians. Indeed, people in the region often refer to Loon Lake Cemetery simply as the Witches' Graveyard.
In the folklore of Lee County, South Carolina, the lizard man of Scape Ore Swamp has been a staple since the 1980s. Several upon several sightings and documented encounters have occurred through the decades by credible witnesses. In 2008, CNN mentioned the lizard man legend in a story about a couple in Bishopville who reported damage to their vehicle, including blood traces. The blood traces were subsequently found to be from a domestic dog, though the local sheriff suggested it might have been a coyote or wolf. In 2015, local television station WCIV featured photos and videos claimed to be Lizard Man, allegedly taken by Jim Wilson and other unidentified individuals. In August 2017, the South Carolina Emergency Management Division sent a humorous tweet regarding possible paranormal activity during the solar eclipse that passed over the area, hinting that people of Lee and Sumter counties should remain vigilant for sightings of the Lizard Man.
The Florida Skunk Ape. Skunk ape, also known as a swamp Sasquatch and Florida Bigfoot, is a purported ape-like creature said to inhabit the forests and swamps of some southeastern United States, notably in Florida. The skunk ape is sometimes compared to, synonymous with, or called the cousin of Bigfoot, a prominent subject within North American pop culture. Articles have been presented in an attempt to prove the skunk ape's existence, including anecdotal sightings, disputed photographs, audio and video recordings, and footprints. The majority of mainstream scientists have historically discounted the existence of the skunk ape, considering it to be the result of a combination of folklore, misidentification, and hoax, rather than a living animal. The skunk ape has permeated into the pop culture of the southern United States, especially in Florida. The Black Demon of Baja.
Referred to by the locals as El Demonio Negro, known in English as the Black Demon. It's a massive underwater predator measuring up to 60 feet in length and 100,000 pounds. This colossal shark is a feared man-eater, believed to swim the salty waters just off the coast of Mexico's Baja California Peninsula. In recent years, numerous sightings have been reported, primarily from the local fishermen. The black demon is said to resemble a great white shark, but with very dark coloration and a large tail. Some say it could be the megalodon or a new species of shark, or perhaps an unusually large great white. Many expeditions were launched to locate this creature, even on monster quests in the chapter Megajaws. Nothing became of this investigation. Sadly, sightings are rare. Because of this, not much is known about it. Still, many people are extremely watchful and cautious upon entering the water in this region.
The legends of ghost cars arose in the 20th century, predominantly in the American continent. Even so, in earlier times, legends of other ghost vehicles, such as ships or railroads, also arose. The nature of ghost cars varies greatly depending on the myth and the place. They are generally vehicles owned by the spirits of deceased people who died inside the vehicle or due to a traumatic situation with it. There are also legends that ghost cars are related to the spirits of humans, but are dominated by forces of other types, such as ghost vehicles that are powered by powers from supernatural places, or ghost cars controlled by supernatural forces, such as demons or other beings, that they use them as means to achieve their dark purposes. Although ghost cars are generally associated with evil forces, the mythology of ghost cars also recounts events in which entities or that dominate the ghost cars are positive and non-violent, seeking a quiet existence or transition. The ghost cars became famous thanks to the arrival of popular culture, and so many people are inspired by this phenomena in cinema, literature, and TV. They are also protagonists of ghost stories to tell on Halloween.
The Vampire of Crogland Grange. The Crogland Grange vampire was said to have been at least a couple of centuries old. Perhaps the legend of the monster is merely a tall tale. However, August Hare, in his autobiography, portrayed it as one based on truth. A popular form of literature, or storytelling at the time, was the type one might find in the Penny Dreadful pamphlets. These were works of fiction that were usually about pirates and highwaymen and penned in a Gothic style. The story about the horrifying Crogland Grange vampire might be one example of that style, or the Victorian equivalent of an urban legend. Nonetheless, many people believed that there may have been some truth to this story. The legend of this terrifying creature is still spoken with sincere reverence even to this day, and for that reason, the creature has truly remained immortal. The Vampire of Crogland Grange. The Michigan Dog Man. In Michigan folklore, the Michigan Dog Man was allegedly witnessed in 1887 in Wexford County, Michigan. The creature is described as a 7-foot-tall, blue-eyed or amber-eyed bipedal, canine-like animal with the torso of a man and a fearsome howl that sounds like a human scream. According to legends, the Michigan Dog Man appears in a 10-year cycle that falls on years ending in 7. Sightings have been reported in several locations throughout Michigan, primarily in the northwestern quadrant of the Lower Peninsula. In 1987, the legend of the Michigan Dog Man gained popularity when disc jockey Steve Cook at WTCM-FM recorded a song about the creature and its reported sightings.
The Ghost Cat is purported to haunt the government buildings of Washington, D.C., and its primary haunts are the city's two main landmarks, the White House and the United States Capitol. The story of the Ghost Cat dates back to the mid-1800s, when cats were brought into the basement tunnels of the United States Capitol building to kill rats and mice. Legend states that the Ghost Cat is one of these cats who never left, even after its death. Its home is supposedly the basement crypt of the Capitol building, which was originally intended as a burial chamber for President George Washington. According to legend, the cat is seen before presidential elections and tragedies in Washington, D.C., allegedly being spotted by the White House security guards on the night before cataclysmic, tragic events in the country.
On the evening of August 21st, 1955, 5 adults and 7 children visited Hopkinsville, Kentucky police station with a strange story. Among those 12 people were brothers Elmer and John Sutton, as well as O.P. Baker. The group reported they had witnessed a UFO land near the farmhouse where they were staying the night. Little men surrounded the house, peering in at the frightened families as they attempted to get inside. John Sutton and Billy Ray Taylor claimed they have engaged in a violent gunfight with the small men with a shotgun and a pistol for several hours before leaving to notify the police. The little men, they reported, were short, monkey-like, and with long arms and webbed hands with talons, large bright offset eyes, and pointed ears. The creatures departed and were never seen again. The farmhouse was demolished years later, and the lot is now a tourist spot.
The Demon Truck of Seven Hills Road, Ellicott City, Maryland. In Maryland's historic Ellicott City, the locals whisper tales of a stranger kind of haunting, one that involves the ghost of a vehicle. For decades, the Demon Truck of Seven Hills Road has terrified residents. Just behind Ellicott City, often referred to as one of the most haunted cities in America, sits Seven Hills with a twisting two-lane road running through them. It's long been said that those who drive the stretch of pavement at night, hitting the seventh hill at the stroke of midnight, should beware the Demon Truck, a vehicle driven by a faceless entity. Those who've encountered the Demon Truck say it appears out of thin air, barreling down the road at 100 miles an hour, hell-bent on causing your vehicle to crash. And crash they have.